Hello and welcome to British English with me, Alexandre, again. It's a pleasure to have you here. Today we're gonna move on with another English lesson. We're going to Unit 12. This is a long list that I'm going to be publishing so we can master the British grammar. Of course, again, we're mentioning the source. We're considering advanced grammar in use from Cambridge University, with a self-reference, self-study reference and practice book for advanced learners of English from Cambridge University by Martin Hewings. Okay, today we're gonna talk about another unit which actually about the future. Those are tenses or constructions that we use to refer to things that are happening at the moment and sometimes have relation to the future, things that are expected to happen. Today, we're going to be talking about Unit 12. We're going to be talking about the expressions be2 plus infinitive and be about plus infinitive. So, let's get started with that unit of British grammar, advanced British grammar. But before we start it, please, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel, share the content with English learners, English students, English hearers all over the world who want to improve their English. It's necessary to understand grammar so you can express yourself and you can understand English speakers. You can understand English news and everything. Okay, let's get started. We've got the expression be2 plus infinitive, or be about 2 plus infinitive. So whenever you see that expression with the verb to be2 plus infinitive, we've got to use the infinitive after those expressions. After all, only people can be or be in something. Okay. The expression be2 plus infinitive is commonly used in news reports to talk about events that are likely to happen in the near future. For example, in TV you might say something written, or in news headlines you might see and read something like that. Police officers are to visit every home in the area. Police officers are to visit every home in the area. Notice that we have the verb to be, it's conjugated, followed by the particle to and the verb in its infinitive. Even that being a preposition, it doesn't mean that the verb has to be in the ing form. This is a particular situation. It's be2 plus infinitive always. So, police officers are to visit every home in the area. You might see it in the news. Oh, we're not saying that, but you're gonna see that, so you've got to know how it works. Another example, the main Rome to Naples railway line is to be reopened today. It's in the passive form. Again, the main Rome to Naples railway line is to be reopened today. Okay, let's move on. It is also used to talk about formal or official arrangements, formal instructions, and to give orders. For example, you're not to leave the school without my permission. Actually, those constructions are quite formal, but you've got to know how to interpret them. Another example, the European Parliament is to introduce a new law on safety at work. Children are not to be left unsupervised in the museum. It's in the passive form. Passive forms are often used to make orders and instructions more impersonal. Note that we only use be2 plus infinitive to talk about future events that can be controlled by people. Compare. In the next few years, thousands of speed cameras are to appear on major roads. Or we might say, in the next few years, thousands of speed cameras will appear on major roads. And scientists say they can't predict when or where the disease will appear again, because it's not up to them. So in that case, necessarily, we've got to use will and not the present continuous, because it doesn't depend on them. It doesn't depend on that. Nobody knows when the disease will appear again. Scientists say they can't predict when or where the disease will appear again. Not scientists say the disease is to appear again. We can't say the disease is to appear again. No, the disease will appear again. Scientists say they can't predict when or where the disease will appear again. We should never use the present like that example, because the appearance of the disease can't be controlled. Another example, the president is to return to Brazil later today, or the president will return to Brazil today. It might depend on the president, so it's okay to use the present. The president is to return to Brazil later today. Now, the comet will return to our solar system in around 500 years. In that case, we can't use the comet is to return, because it doesn't depend on anybody. It depends on nature, so it's not under their control, on the people control. The movement of the comet can't be controlled. Okay, so just making a second review. It says that we only use be2 plus infinitive to talk about future events that can be controlled by people. So if the future events can't be controlled by people, we should use will instead of be2 plus infinitive. Okay, moving on. However, when be2 plus infinitive refers to the future from the past, so we're considering a time in the past, we often use it to describe what happened to someone, whether they were able to influence events or not. For example, Matthew Flinders sailed past Tasmania in 1770, but it was to be a further 30 years before he landed it there. Another example, Claire Atkins was to write 2 more books about her experiences in Africa before her death in 1997. So we're talking about the future now, but taking a point in the past, from the past point of view, talking about the future, but from now, talking about the future now, but from the past point where the event might have occurred. Okay, let's move on to section B. We often use be2 plus infinitive in if clauses to say that something must happen first in the main clause before something else can happen in the if clause. For example, if the human race is to survive, we must look at environmental problems now. So first, we must look at environmental problems now, so the human race can survive. So we say, if the human race is to survive, we must look at environmental problems now. Or conversely, we must look at environmental problems now if the human race is to survive. Another example, the law needs to be revised if justice is to be done. This is in the passive form. So if justice is to be done, the law needs to be revised. Compare the use of be2 plus infinitive and the present simple for the future in if clauses. For example, if Lopez is to win gold at the next Olympics, He needs to work on his fitness. And if Lopez wins gold at the next Olympics, he has said that he will retire from athletics. So notice the difference between those sentences. Note how the order of cause and effect in if sentences is reversed with these two tenses. For example, again, if Lopez is to win gold, effect, he needs to work. Cause, so if he works, he might win gold. So if Lopez is to win gold, effect, this is going to be the effect of that cause, which is to work. And now on the contrary, if Lopez wins gold, cause, he has said that he will retire. So winning gold will be the cause for him to retire, for his retirement. So we have effect and cause, and then we have cause and effect. So it completes the meaning totally. That is the importance of understanding those relations, those constructions. Okay, let's go now through section C. This is actually the final part of that lesson. Now, we use be about to, and this expression is really important. Be about to plus infinitive always. Be about to infinitive. We use that expression mainly in conversation to say that something will or will not happen in the very near future. For example, we're about to eat. Do you want to join us? We're about to eat. Notice that after that expression we use the verb in the infinitive form. We're about to eat. Do you want to join us? Do you want to join? Do you want to join us? Do you want to join us? Or do you want to join us? Do you want to join us? Another example, appearing on TV might make her famous, but it's not about to make her rich. Appearing on TV might make her famous, but it's not about to make her rich. Another example, we got two characters. A, why don't you switch it off and turn it back on again? Why don't you switch it off and turn it back on again? Yes, I was about to try that when you came in. Yes, I was about to try that when you came in. So I was about to and the verb in the infinitive form. Yes, I was about to try that. I was about to try that when you came in. Not yes, I was to try. No, we're referring to the future from the past. I forgot to say that lesson is quite formal, but it's also necessary to understand so you can understand sentences, official arrangements, instructions, things that are said in quite an impersonal way. But it's also necessary so you can understand. So if you need to go over again that lesson, you can watch it again. You can have that reference, advanced grammar in use from Martin Hewins. And that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Please subscribe to the channel and enjoy the content with English learners, English speakers all over the world. That's it for today. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Bye bye. Cheers.